It's September, it's 5:45 in the morning. The luxury of being next to Kerborough has worn off, so we're back up for the early starts, this time over to Shrewsbury for Loton Park. Which gives me time to answer the most asked question of the channel, which is, when are you going to stop filling YouTube full of these videos? Okay, so we'll skip over the most asked question and ask the second most question, which is, how on earth does the MG Car Club Speed Championship scoring work? If you think I'm doing maths at this time in the morning, you're sorely mistaken. So the whole system is based on target times, and target times are the fastest that your car in that class has been up that circuit in the last 10 years. So the way you have to look at it is that target time is 100%. So that's what you're racing against. If you can go faster than that, you get positive points, but above 100. If you go slower than that target time, you get points less than 100. It all works on inverse percentages. So in this example, the target time is 60 seconds. If I go 57 seconds, I've gone 5% faster. Therefore, the inverse of that was 105. So in theory, I get 105 points, but there's a cap at 102. So I get 102 points. If I did 63 seconds, I'm 5% slower than the target time. That's 95%, 95 points, and that's what I get for the event. All the points are added up from each event, and at the end of the year, the person with the most points over 8 events for the national or 6 events for the Northern or Southern Championship is declared the winner. And for a more detailed breakdown, if you have a look at the MG Car Club Speed Championship webpage, you can have a look at the regulations, and it's all laid out clearly in there for you. And so to Loton Park then, where absolutely nothing is happening. I think all the MG people are still in bed. Shh. Best go for a track walk then. Slightly uphill off the start then. Straight off the line then, into this slow sweeping right. Flat out here, first, second, and then as the arrows show here, we get our first 90 left. Opening up into a short sprint, a short straight. So this little complex here through the trees is often where you get the deers coming out and running across the track. This sweeping left getting tighter as we get to this corner here where the post is. And a short second gear sprint down to this tighter left here around the berms and the posts. I guarantee someone will have that post out today. That's just asking to be taken out, that is. Lots of runoff here though, which is good. And then you're faced with the infamous triangle right hand corner. Always a spectator's favourite. Strangely, after doing Wiscombe, it doesn't actually look as tight as I remember it. Loton Park then, 1,400 metres, 1 in 4 up to 1 in 7 at places. So definitely one of the competitors' favourite courses. This, together with the likes of Harewood and Prescott, represent real challenges, as they will today and tomorrow. So next up, keepers. Be hard in second here, trying to carry some speed around this sweeping right, so keeping it tight to the posts, and then straight into the left. And speed's important here, because whatever speed you carry through here is what you carry up the main hill. So in the Midget, which is underpowered compared to most cars, that's absolutely important. And this all opens up to the main part of the hill climb, which is where it just becomes about power. Good news is in the Midget you don't have to take your foot off the throttle up here. So this weekend at Loton Park, it's a double header, one of a few on the calendar, where there's a Saturday event and a Sunday event. So that means there's a good chance to get used to the course on the Saturday and then capitalise on your times and gains on the Sunday. And the good news is the forecast for the 2 days is dry, so there's the opportunity, hopefully, to get some good times. So chasing a 64.48-ish today. That's the target time. To give you a comparison, last year's time in the version 2 Midget was 68.1, something like that. So in theory, this year's car, I need to find about 3 seconds. And the reality is I haven't got that much more power on this climb, so I'm going to have to find that in the corners. And that's where hopefully the tyres, the diff and the suspension setup will all come into its own. What it also means is today I've got to be the last of the late breakers. Now when you get to here, the engine is screaming in third, probably, and the challenge is deciding when to brake. Because when you're sitting in the car approaching this, probably about that kind of level, you can't really see this corner very well, so you rely on those boards, and if you get it wrong, you go straight on. But all being well, I always seem to do quite well at this corner, which is good. So a short little climb up to Museum, which is a hard right-hand corner just to the other side of that van. So as you approach it, you can't see it. So that sweeps around, nearly going back on itself. And then a final short squirt up over this ridge to the finish line. And when you get to the top, you are rewarded with some of the best views in hill climbing. Look at that. So running number 137. So it's a good number of cars in the field today. The MGs are going out pretty much last, which should mean the course has got lots of rubber on it. All the animal poo that's been put down should have been brushed away or driven over. So should be looking at a good circuit, but a bit of a time to wait until first practice. Which means plenty of time for scrutineering, getting set up, cup of coffee and a bacon sandwich. Format today, not entirely sure. I think it's 2 practice, 2 timed laps. So it'll be the same format again tomorrow. So the good news is tomorrow is you'll have all the benefit of the knowledge from day 1. So theoretically, the times on day 2 should be faster than on day 1. Let's see.
Nothing's changed there.
in the 64s, 64, 7, 8, but it wasn't pretty. Quite messy, quite choppy. I think there's still another second there if I can be smooth. So that's practice done. So now for the time lapse after a spot of lunch. Well, that was a poo-poo moment. So you know when you push your brake pedal and it just keeps going down and you're not stopping and you're heading straight for triangle. I think a little bit of wee-wee came out. Work to do on the brakes. Don't know what yet. Let's see if we can recover it for one final time. So after brake failure at triangle on the first time lap, triangle was okay this time. The brakes failed this time at the top of the main climb just before museum, which meant going into the corner way faster than I wanted and putting the car up on two wheels. So last time a little bit of wee-wee came out. This time I thought the car was going over. So I'm actually shaking a bit and wouldn't be surprised if my trousers are a little bit brown. Needless to say, the car needs a bit of maintenance before tomorrow. End of recording. See you tomorrow. Right, so what was going to be a slightly longer video anyway, because Loton Park is a two-day event, is now going to be a little bit longer because yet again my rear brakes have failed. So tonight we're back at home, the car's in surgery, and we're going to see if we can replace the master cylinder. Well, it's actually the slave cylinder that goes on the back, not the master cylinder. And this is where you're grateful that in your box of bits at home on a bank holiday weekend, you happen to have one of these. So we're going to get this replaced, bleed the brakes, see what we've got, and hopefully that'll be good enough for tomorrow. With any luck, I might get a bit of sleep, and then we're back to Loton Park. And it's a 5:45 get up in the morning again. So here then we can see what's wrong. So my drum is contaminated. Then also if we have a look at the brake drum, the cylinder has come out, putting oil everywhere. We've got all contaminated shoes. So we're going to get this all apart, clean it up, put a new cylinder on and give it a go. Day 2 at Loton Park. Lovely, nice, dry, warm day. So about 11 o'clock last night, finally got into bed after a new cylinder, full pressure bleed, but we're good to go for today. Quick track walk then. Conditions pretty much the same as yesterday. Most of the admin's been done as well. So we can skip the pleasantries, go straight for the bacon sandwich, get set up and ready for the off. Still chasing a 64.5 target time. Got within half a second, I suppose, of that yesterday. So hopefully with some breaks today, we've got a good chance of going after that. Loton Park then, run by Hadley and District Car Club. Really fantastic circuit. Lots of twists and turns, very difficult to learn in one session. Also a very good circuit for spectators, fantastic spectating, especially around the triangle area, but if you go up to the top to museum, there's some excellent viewing to be had there as well. Highly recommended for anybody looking for a day out and to come and see some sprint and hill climbing action. Into the 64s on second practice, which is good. A bit of a wobble at the bottom of the hill, so still another half a second there. Plus a bit more speed in the first section, I think. So, which is where the time is down to the low 64s. So, time lapse next. Now I've got brakes. Let's see what we can do. 64.48 for the first time run. Certainly a step up from yesterday, so pleased with that. And that's, I can't remember the target time off the top of my head, but I know that's pretty damn close. So really pleased with that for a first time run. The good news is I've got another time run to see if I can get better. Let's try. So 64.04, fastest time of the weekend for me on the last run. So really pleased with that. That being good enough for second in the class, the MG class. So a good result for a good sunny 2 days. So 2 fantastic days at Loton. Hope you've enjoyed all the fun and entertainment and some exciting runs to match. So with that, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. See you on the next video.